Good morning, Eben. Good morning to your viewers.
Fantastic. Just let's start with a bit of housekeeping. Can you confidently say it's all systems go and the department's on target to implement the e-tolling system before the end of the year?
Technically, it has been all systems go for the past 2 years. The system has been on. It has been working for the past 2 years. The only thing that outstanding was the legal framework, which was signed by the president just last week. So SANRAL is ready to go ahead with the implementation of the process. In fact, the system has proven to work very well. Bakwena Toll Highway, which is the N4 between Pretoria and Rustenburg and the other way around, the e-tag system has been working very well. A lot of people have given us positive feedback because they do not have to queue and pay manually to drive through the toll plaza. They just drive through. So we believe that some of these good reviews that we are getting from those who are using the system already will basically help encourage others, those who are yet to take up registration for e-tolling.
Talking about that, yes, it's operationally it's a success and found favor with the public. But what do you say about the large scale of unhappiness that's still out there amongst the public and the general opposition of the implementation, especially here in Gauteng on the major routes here?
This notion of this large-scale opposition needs to be put into context. There's no scientific evidence that can prove that indeed 90% of residents in Gauteng are opposed to the system. Also, given the fact that we have more than 600,000 e-tags in circulation currently, we need to take into recognition that those who have bought the tags are a whole lot, and they are part of South Africans who want to comply with the law. We strongly believe that South Africans are law-abiding citizens. We live in a constitutional democracy. There's no reason why they would want to wake up in October 2013 and decide to disregard this particular law if they abide with other laws of the Republic. So we are quite confident that South Africans will come around. Most of them have been coming to us in the past couple of months, asking us when this system is going ahead, because they are not willing to buy a tag and spend 50 rands in acquiring a tag while they are not going to, while there's no certainty as to when the system is going to be implemented. So we strongly believe that most of them are going to come around and work with us, and we encourage them to go ahead and get registered, get their e-tags, because indeed there are discounts and benefits that come with being in possession of an e-tag as opposed to not having one.
Mr. Rikhotso, what do you say to the opponents who say that this system is flawed simply because there are much cheaper ways to fund roads in South Africa?
Most of the opponents that you are making reference to are stakeholders that we engaged between June 2012 and 2013. Cabinet established an interministerial committee led by the Deputy President of the Republic to listen to concerns raised by, among others, COSATU, AUTA, the Road Freight Association, the church organizations, where they presented what they believe to be their alternative methods of funding. We clarify them as a government collectively as to why we came to this particular one. For instance, people have raised the issue of the fuel levy. You'll know, Eben, that the fuel levy is not charged provincially, it's charged at national level. So in other words, there cannot be a specific fuel levy for Gauteng or the Western Cape or the Eastern Cape for that matter. So if we are going to increase the fuel levy in order to fund the roads in Gauteng, how do you then justify such a move to somebody who's sitting in Chipisa, in Venda, or in Njalere, or Lusik in the Eastern Cape, who equally has needs to have roads built? Because as it stands now, we're sitting with a backlog of at least 150 billion rands countrywide. These are rural roads, provincial roads that we need to put in place. So it cannot be fair, therefore, that we ask people who live far away from Gauteng to fund the roads in Gauteng. One thing that should comfort people is the fact that so far as the tariffs that we are going to charge are concerned, our research indicates that at least 83% of the people who travel between Johannesburg and Pretoria and Ekurhuleni and vice versa are not going to pay more than 100 rand per month. So in other words, a person like myself who lives in Johannesburg travel to Pretoria every day, I'm not going to be expected to pay more than 100 rands. The only people who are going to reach the cap which we have set of 450 rands per month are actually people who do multiple trips, like your courier services companies and all those who go up and down the two cities.
Mr. Rikhotso, I wanted to ask you a political question in conclusion. Next year's an election year in Gauteng. I want to ask you about how smart or the wisdom of implementing this system before the end of the year in Gauteng that will be a frontier province at the election next year.
Unfortunately, I'm an official of government. I do not represent any political interest where I'm sitting, so that question is completely irrelevant to me. I think there are other people who are best placed to respond to it.
Indeed, I will then have to follow up that avenue. That, for someone who's not involved in politics, that's a very good political answer. Thank you. That's Tiyani Rikhotso, who is from the Department of Transport, giving us a little bit of insight as to how the e-tolling system will be implemented in the months and weeks and months to come. Rather, you can send us pictures or comments on e-tolling to our newsroom on Twitter. It's at SABC Newsroom or at SABC News. Send us these pictures to any related news of the day or any breaking news story in your area, and we'll broadcast this live with your name right here on SABC News.